Hey, welcome. Domain Dave again, cheapwinefinder.com. Another wine review for a wine we wrote up on the cheapwinefinder.com website. 3 times a week we write them up, and 3 times a week we plug in the microphone, and here we are. This is a $7.99 Trader Joe's wine. It's a wine that's been around every several vintages. I know we did the 2020 vintage, and before that we did a couple too. It's the Lazy Bones Paso Robles Cabernet Franc 2023. It's from the Miller wine family, who have been making Trader Joe's wines for at least 15 years. They used to put Central Coast Wine Warehouses as one of their divisions on the label, but they've kind of gotten away from that, and they're just going with the parent company. And they're legit. They own a couple of the best vineyards in all the Central Coast. And not that I know if this one is. This is Paso Robles, where the grapes come from, and they own the French Camp Vineyard, which is highly regarded, and I have no clue, and I doubt it if any of these grapes came from there. They could have, but I doubt it. And the label says cellared and bottled by, and cellared and bottled by means they bottled it and kept it around for a little while. Doesn't mean they made it at all, but I imagine some part of them did. One thing I want to mention is the label. It's got a kind of a, always had a black and white nude woman lying on a bed, petting a cat, and the bed had blankets on it. Very stylized, just a few lines to suggest everything. But she was naked in there, and she might have been a plumber from what we could tell. But this one is now in full color, and one of the blankets is now covering her butt up. So I thought that was funny. It's a very attractive. It looks like something from France in the 1890s. I mean, it does have a nice look to it. So the label can hold its own with retail wines twice the price or higher. It's a nice label. Cabernet Franc is the parent of Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc were mated at some point. How you do that to grapes, I don't know, but a long time ago. And they made Cabernet Sauvignon. And Cabernet Franc is also the parent to Merlot and Carmenere, which are all Bordeaux grapes. Carmenere not so much anymore. But there you go. So this is an old grape, and it's usually used for blending. Though in Loire Valley, it is its own singular grape, and in California it can be its own singular grape too. And it usually adds a dark flavor, a dark color, and a structure. It's got tannins. Cabernet Franc will have tannins. I know in California and elsewhere, tannins are usually softened a lot, because tannins work best with a food and wine where you're going to just drink it when you're having a meal, because then it balances out, the food balances out. And if you're sipping it, tannins can be a little bit rough and dry. And here it's got tannins, but they're sweet, they're smooth, they know how to deal with that. So this is a sipping wine, but it's definitely a wine that, feel free grabbing, you're putting burgers on the grill or anything else, pork, for anything. This would work really well with that. This is a nice food wine. I'm going to take a sip. It's got dark flavors. You're talking about blackberry, you're talking a little bit of spice, maybe some plums, some blueberries, I picked up some dry strawberries, some oak spice. It's a darker wine, but it sips really nicely. It's $7.99. If you're looking for a real legitimate red, you want red with some body to it, and it's not been neutered. I mean, this is still nice. This is still a Cabernet Sauvignon, and for $7.99. Usually when it goes under 10, they kind of round them off to be more palatable to more people, but this is a Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet Franc. Talking about the kid. And it just drinks well. It's a nice wine. It's way smoother and richer than you would think it would be, and especially smooth and rich for an $8 wine is a really good thing to say about it. I'm going to take another sip and we'll wrap it up. So there you go. It's got a nice label, but no girl butt on it. But it is a really nice label. It looks like artwork, and it is, I guess. It tastes smooth and rich, just in time for outdoor patio drinking. This is a nice wine. This would go with a Chipotle bowl. I mean, this would really go well with that. I'm thinking that maybe I could have that because you got, it doesn't matter what you're having in there, it would just sip very well. Tacos, burgers, all that stuff, it would go really well. So that's it for me, Domain Dave, cheapwinefighter.com. This was the Lazy Bones Paso Robles Cabernet Franc 2023. It's from, it's made for exclusively Trader Joe's, but it's a first-rate wine company that made it for them, who have really good vineyards, though I don't know if any of the vineyards were involved. But they have contacts everywhere. I mean, that's one of the things. It's not, if you didn't use their vineyards, they used good vineyards from friends. So that's it for me, Domain Dave, cheapwinefinder.com. Like us, we like your podcast, you will push the button, it helps. And I'm talking about in a couple of days. It's getting warmer and the wine's flowing. So adios, keep it cheap. Bye-bye.